This is Dr. As working in as an oral maxillofacial surgeon in Korea Tooth Bank. So I'm a dentist. So I'm very thankful to the organization of FBPS for giving me opportunity to introduce in dental field a demineralized dentin matrix as a BMP carriers. I think this is very specific items for this seminars. In my presentation, the mineralized dentin matrix will be pronounced DDM and recombinant human bone morphogenic protein as BMP. And after brief introduction of the mineralized dentin matrix, and I will talk about some experimental and clinical studies of DDM as BMP carriers. As all you know, the BMP as exogenous potent osteoinductive cytokine. This BMP requires some biomaterial matrix to retain the protein for a prolonged period of time at the local site. So the delivery strategy in commercial product has concentrated on observable collagen sponges, which is impregnated with BMP solutions just before, prior to implantation at the operation room or chairside. So this was approved as alternative to autogenous bones for oral and maxillofacial reconstruction in 2007 with a concentration of 1.5 milligram per cc. So a wide range of BMP carriers of organic and inorganic nature have been investigated, showed a varying level of success. So there was only 2 indications in oral and maxillofacial surgery in with observable collagen sponges. So, however, the major component of human bones, such as collagen and hydroxyapatite, are still preferred BMP carrier. This means that the ideal carrier systems has not been identified yet. So, for example, the collagen sponges like this has limited controlled release capacities and has some poor mechanical properties. Therefore, we have been concentrating dentin matrix powder. First of all, I'm a dentist. Dentin matrix powder in relation to the demineralized bone matrix, because the component of dentin is almost the same with the bone, such as collagen, hydroxyapatite, and some mineral and matrix binding proteins. So these binding proteins are known to play the major role of osteoinduction, especially in the demineralized bone matrix, and hydroxyapatite to the role of osteoconduction. This function is almost the same with dentin matrix powder. So this is the first clue for our development of DDM along with demineralized bone matrix. So about the DDM, and back into 1960s, Dr. Urist found that the demineralized dentin matrix induced new bone formation in the muscles of nude mice. Some proteins released from the dentin matrix stimulate the phenotypic transformation of mesenchymal cells into osteoblast. Later in 2010, Dr. Murata reported that the osteoinductive function of human DDM and reported his first clinical application. And today, these days in Korea, DDM is commercially available. developed by Korea Tooth Bank, and they are fabricated from the extracted tooth. And after removal of the blood, soft tissue and foreign bodies, filling materials, and even the pulp tissues, the teeth were crushed into the powder or trimmed to blocks. So this is the particle sized with 3 to 800 micrometer and surface demineralized. And the definition of DDM is a sheet insoluble, a cellular nanoporous collagen scaffold which has minerals and some non-collagenous proteins like this. And structurally, these nanoporous dentinal tubules and the dense collagen matrix will be enlarged and loosened after the processing, and they provide rough surface that serve as channels for releasing essential proteins or cellular attachment. So after the development, Korea Tooth Bank has reported clinical outcomes since 2010. Here in the mandible, we see the alveolar bone defect around the implant. And this defect was repaired well. Developed corticocancellous bone around the implant. And in the maxilla, here is thin sinus floor was successfully augmented with dentin particles to place the implant like this. So in the histological examinations, you can see the active osteoinductive deposit of osteoid here. And this osteoid was lined by osteoblast-like cells that were transformed from the mesenchymal cells to see the osteoinductive and osteoconductive functions of this DDM to repair or to regenerate the bone.